Hey everybody, in this video, we are going to talk about a few key techniques that we can use to improve knee mobility as well as reduce inflammation around this key joint. Health by Ratio is an online group of licensed physical therapists, orthopedic movement specialists, and corrective exercise coaches that work together to create holistic programs for our clients to help them rehabilitate from chronic and recurring pains and injuries and bridge the gap back to functional fitness for the active lives that they love to live. The knee is obviously a very key joint, and for many of us, it can be a problem child. Some of us have experienced full-blown injuries to the ACL, the MCL, the meniscus, the LCL, PCL, whatever, all the above, or deal with something a little bit more kind of recurring, like a patella tendonitis, or just general knee soreness. And all of those things limit our range of motion and increase inflammation to the area. And so we're going to cover some techniques that we can do with some simple stuff laying around the house, potentially a foam roller or something equivalent, like a water bottle, wine bottle could work, that kind of thing. Might want to put a towel or something over a water bottle or wine bottle to give it a little bit more cushion. And also a ball can work great. So this is a lacrosse ball, but this could be a tennis ball or something equivalent to explore some of these tissues and open them up. Now, before I jump right into these techniques really fast, the knee itself, if this is an area that's a recurring issue for us, it regularly gets tweaked, it regularly gets inflamed, we've re-injured it before, all the above, then we need to make sure that we're addressing things that are happening above and below. This joint does not work independently, and it is directly impacted by how these ankles function as well as how our hips function. And our hips function based off of how our core and our shoulder girdle functions. So this is very much a head to toe perspective that it needs to be taken when we're truly addressing knee stability. And if our knee is unstable throughout our daily movement patterns, then tensions are going to form around it as it's trying to compensate in positions that it doesn't love. So if you'd like some help, like if you feel like when you're walking or when you're squatting or when you're kneeling down, if you feel like those things irritate the knee or create instability around this, then let us know, because we would love to be able to help you for free. What my team and I offer anyone and everybody free video assessments where we can connect with you over a Zoom call and assess how you're walking, how you're squatting, how you're kneeling, and anything else that's appropriate to your daily movement patterns. And then follow up with key range of motion assessments as well as strength assessments to see how and why your body is doing what it's doing from head to toe. And then we give you a game plan on what you specifically need to do at the ankles, the hips, and anywhere else to restore your body back to full ranges of stable motion. Even the on non-pain side, often we might have a problem knee, but it's really things that are happening on the quote unquote good leg that's causing this quote unquote bad knee to get impacted in negative ways. So we want to bridge that gap and help you guys have a better understanding of what's going on with your body. It's free. Below this video, you'll see a link to our calendar where you can pick a day or time that works best for you. It's actually broken down into 2 calls. The first call is actually more information gathering. It's relatively quick. It's like 15 to 20 minutes. We're just asking you kind of background on what your body's been through, what your goals are, all that good stuff. The second call is where you and I connect personally and go through these various assessments. All right, but now, without further ado, let's jump into some of these key mobility techniques to restore some range of motion back to the knee, as well as improve circulation to reduce inflammation and all that good stuff. So when it comes to the knee, the things that impact it the most are the tissues just above and below in terms of range of motion. Like I said before, the joints above and below impact the stability and function of the knee, but the tissues surrounding it are what often can pull on it and restrict its ranges of motion. So how we can get into these areas is we're with a foam roller here. I'm going to explore the region that's about 6 inches above my knee. It can be on the inside, it can be the top side or the outside, and that's going to be my priority to focus on. Now, all of this quad, even up to the hip, is connected. So I'm not just going to work above my knee on a day-to-day basis. I'm going to also explore up this thigh. But initially, my low-hanging fruit is going to be right above that kneecap to the inside to outside. So we're going to take whatever we have as a roller. We're going to lay it sideways on the ground and position my knee so that this thing is just above my kneecap. Now, I can work dead straight on top here. I can turn my foot out a little bit. Now I'm more positioned for the inside of my quad here. Or I can pivot my foot inward the other direction and get more the outside edge. All the above are fair game. And you might have gunk any of these three spots. And how you know you have gunk is it hurts. When you get onto this, it's going to hurt so good, like someone was giving you a massage. So we find that area. Okay, that's my hurt so good pain. I'm going to start off with some deep belly breathing. Nice deep full breaths into my belly, exhaling out, trying to use my diaphragm to relax my nervous system a little bit. And then I'm going to start pumping some blood to this area and creating friction just like a massage therapist would do to this gunky tight tissue. So I'm going to start off with a nice deep breath in to kind of fill up my lungs with oxygen. And as I hold my breath for 5 seconds, I'm going to tighten this quad just by trying to straighten the knee. Now, when I do it, I'm going to raise my leg a little bit off this foam roller. I'm not going to put as much pressure while I'm tightening this quad. Then I'm going to exhale and relax back onto it. So a nice deep breath. Hold and tighten that area for 5, 4, 3. I don't have as much pressure into it. It's not as painful. And exhale. Now I'm relaxing the tissue. I'm putting my weight back onto it. And now I'm going to start scrubbing into this area. I'm kind of sawing the tissue in. I can move my knee a little bit in and out, but I'm creating friction. I can even rock up and down a little bit if I want, but I'm trying to stay on the similar area. I'm not like rolling up and down off of it. I'm trying to stay on this area, but I'm massaging into it. I'm trying to create friction. I'm trying to create a reason for this tissue to kind of break apart. There could be some scar tissue here, or it could just be some tight tissue that's restricting us. And let's do it again. Nice deep breath in. Tighten the area. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, relax back onto it. And again, rinse and repeat. Scrub into it. Bend and extend. Working all around. This is applicable whether you're working straight on top, whether you're working more to the inside, whether you're working more to the outside. And what we're searching for is for this area, wherever we're working on, for it to eventually relax a little bit. So if it started at, like, say, a 7 out of 10 on our pain scale, I want this thing to calm down. Maybe it's now a 5 out of 10. Maybe it's a 3 out of 10. Maybe whatever. I want it to be less painful. Now, you might not be there yet. You might need to keep working this sequence. Keep going through your breath work. Keep contracting and relaxing. Keep scrubbing and moving. It could take you 5 minutes to get this area to calm down. But you want to feel that difference. Okay, it's not so painful now. All right, now I can move on to maybe another area. Maybe now I'm going to work the inside of my thigh, or maybe I'm going to work the outside of my thigh. Any of it's fair game. Try to explore 2 or 3 spots. Then on the other side is we might get into below this knee, right along this anterior tib and kind of side of the calf region here, where you can take a ball and place this thing right under the side of my lower leg here. If you can't get into this position, you can also just do this with your own fingers. Like, you can get your hands into this. You might want to put a little bit of lotion on your skin so that you can kind of slide up and down. But you're going to get into this with your own fingers, find your hurt so good spot, and then kind of follow along with what I'm about to do. But otherwise, if you can get into this position, you're going to place that ball underneath. You're going to apply some pressure with the top hand and find wherever your kind of hurt so good spot is. Then again, we're going to do the same thing. Nice deep belly breathing. Trying to relax the nervous system into this. Then we're going to do the same thing that we just did with the quad. We're going to take a deep breath in, tighten the area, and to tighten this, all I'm going to do is kind of flex my foot. I can kind of push my foot into the ground a little bit. It's going to tighten this kind of calf. I'll take a little pressure off of it, and then after 5 seconds, exhale into it. So nice deep breath in. Tighten the area. 5, 4, 3, 2, one. Exhale, melt into it. Now I can start scrubbing into this tissue. I can move front to back. I can also move up and down, whatever. I'm just trying to create friction, create some blood flow to this area. And then rinse and repeat. Deep breath in. Tighten it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, melt into it. And then scrub around. And keep going if you need to. If this area is still gunky, still tight, if you're doing this with your own hands and you're massaging into it, keep working. Keep trying to get that area to calm down so it's a little bit less painful than when you started. Then we can start going into some knee range of motion work. So this is where any kind of quad stretch or knee flexion work, it could be just gliding your feet up and your knee up and down the wall a little bit. It could be going in and out of knee flexion and extension. It can be laying on your back and going into some type of quad stretch here. Whatever is tolerable for you. But now we can do some dynamic stretching to kind of pull this knee back into its full range of motion here. Now, this does also help with extension as well, but for extension, the other areas that we might want to explore in similar fashion would be the back of the calf, finding any gunk underneath the knee on the backside. Anything's fair game, can be the inside, straight behind, or outside, as well as the hamstring itself, which I like to use the ball in a seated position. So getting a seat on something and placing the ball right underneath that hamstring region and pressing down into it. And now we can create pressure into this area and go through the same thing. Deep belly breathing, deep breath in, tighten the area, then relax into it, and then scrub into it. Those would be the complements on the backside around the knee. Now, I am a big fan of always doing this on both sides of the body. Now, if I have an injury to my right knee, I might spend 2 or 3 times more energy on this right knee, and more time and energy on this right knee. Like I might spend like 15 minutes on this, but I will give 5 minutes of love to my other knee because again, often there are things going on with the good side of the body that impact the quote unquote injured side or bad side of the body. So we want to address both, not to mention that often we start compensating to the good leg. So that in turn creates more tension on the quote unquote good leg and can impact us. And all of a sudden the good leg starts giving us problems. So I always am a fan of addressing both sides. It doesn't mean it has to be equal time and energy, but I want to give some love and attention to both legs. So this is a great sequence that you can do to these tissues around the knee itself to help us improve our range of motion, free up sticky, tight fascial lines that are impacting us. And then if we compare that with some functional corrective exercise, maybe retrain our body how to walk a little bit more symmetrically or how to squat with better alignment of the ankles, knees, and hips, whatever it is, like our daily movement patterns, then we can keep this thing happy and healthy for decades to come. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to put them below in this video, or obviously subscribe, and all the above. We hope you've enjoyed this video, and we'll talk soon.